Hey everybody, it's Greg, and it's another edition of Unbreakable, the podcast. And it is Wednesday, May 29th. I was going to say November. What the hell? I am just so mixed up with all these holidays that it feels like a Monday. Now it's a Tuesday. Wait a minute, it's hump day. No, it's the weekend. No. Anyway. I just wanted to sign in today and say hello and talk about a few things real quick. I have a classic TV episode coming up. Either I'm going to tape it later today or tomorrow. I want to get it right. I've got a really good show and just need to do a little more research, and I'm going to hit you with it, and hopefully you're going to like it. Also, tomorrow, we're going to do mail. I see a couple more comments, and I promised I was going to keep up on those comments and not let them linger for like months and months and months and months. So we do a little answering mail tomorrow too. But today, I wanted to talk about this Angel Hernandez guy. Or I used to always call him the Angel of Death. Talk about the worst umpire in the history of baseball. He is the worst. When I was growing up, there was this guy named Joe West, Cowboy Joe West. He just retired a few years ago. And he was probably the worst umpire I have ever seen in all my years of watching baseball. He was bad. Not only was he a bad umpire, he would get a lot of calls wrong at first base. When he was doing balls and strikes behind the plate, he was never consistent. Like he would call a strike or a pitch on the inside corner one inning, and then the next inning, the very same pitch, he would call a ball. No rhyme or reason to it, just because he felt like it. I don't know. And he was an arrogant SOB too. I remember back they were playing he was umpiring against the Phillies. This was back, it could have been 92 or 93 when the Phillies had that really good team, Macho Rowe, Lenny Dykstra, and John Kruk, and Darren Dault, and all those guys, right? Well, there was this one game. I think it was a Sunday afternoon game, and Dykstra was hitting, and Joe West was literally standing behind the pitcher's mound. Okay, like maybe a little toward the first base side of second base, just standing there, hands on hips, looking as arrogant as a smug guy. So Dykstra calls time, and he motions. He said, I'm not the biggest Lenny Dykstra fan in the world. I wasn't back then, and I'm not now. But he motioned, I think he was polite, to Joe West to move out of his sight because, he's trying to see where the pitch is coming from and the background and all this, right? And Joe West is in the way. Joe West refuses to move. So Dykstra goes ballistic. He starts charging. He throws his helmet down. He starts charging Joe West. He goes ballistic on the other umpires. Out comes Jim Fregosi, the manager. He goes ballistic. And it just evolved into this chaos, this big rhubarb where it shouldn't have been. All Joe West needed to do was move over a few steps so Dykstra could see. He would not move at all. So that, and not only was he a bad umpire, he used to sing country western songs. Like I think he put it out an album one time, and he sucked. He sucked at singing country western music too. Oh my God. He was no Randy Travis, I'll say that. So that's an example of an arrogant, bad umpire. And we saw one the other day, right? with Bryce Harper, the guy who threw Harper out in the first inning in Colorado. I mean, any good, experienced umpire would walk away. He would let Harper have say, and he would walk away, right? He wouldn't just stand there and listen to it and then throw Harper out of the game in the first inning. I don't think too many people pay good money for a ticket to go in and see the friggin' umpires, right? They pay to go in and see the players play, especially a star like Bryce Harper, who only comes to Colorado once a year, right? So that's the thing. I think these umpires, they think they're God just because they have this power that they can determine the game, balls and strikes, outs and safe, out. They think they're God, and they're not God. Getting back to Angel Hernandez. Okay, so this guy was the worst. And I think you remember that big fight on Sunday Night Baseball when Kyle Schwarber went ballistic on Hernandez. And you got to remember that. That was just a sample of of his work. Here's what I don't understand. Why now? Maybe because the guy's 62 and they convinced him, quote unquote, to retire, to take his retirement package and get the hell out. That's probably what they did. But he's been a bad umpire for decades and decades. And you would have thought that they would have got rid of his ass a long time ago, right? That's what you would have thought. Make the game better. Don't every city Angel Hernandez goes to, people are holding their breath. Angel Hernandez, so he's on the crew for this series. Oh my God. It was just a bad look. Nobody enjoyed Angel Hernandez, the angel of death, coming to their town. Nobody. So, kudos to baseball for getting rid of him, but it should have been done a long time ago. Come on. All right, enough about that guy. Hey, did you hear about this thing about the movies? A lot of people like to go to the movies on Memorial Day weekend. That's when all the blockbusters are coming out, the summer blockbusters. Remember back in the day, Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Blockbuster movies, right? In the summertime, and popcorn movies. You go to these movies to have fun. You don't want to think too much. You don't want a movie that's too deep. You just want a movie that's going to entertain you and keep you engrossed for about 2 hours. So, people like to go to movies over Memorial Day weekend, especially Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. No one they don't have to go. Most people don't have to go to work on Monday, right? So this past weekend was the worst weekend at the box office in 30 years. 30 years. Why? Aren't people going to the movies anymore? I know people were really traveling last weekend in record amounts. But why weren't people going to the movies? I'll tell you why people go to the movies. Because the movies suck. The movies suck. There aren't no good movies out anymore. You could say, all right, for kids, Garfield, which I've heard even these kids' movies aren't. They're no Disney movies. They're no Pixar movies. Don't comments. They're no Disney. They suck too, okay? Kids don't know. Kids, right? We're going to go to the movies and have a good time and eat popcorn, and then that's what they don't care. But the adult movies, what do you got? What's out there? You don't even know. Feature stuff or whatever the hell that is. I heard from people we went to see that. It's sort of the prequel to Bad Bats or something. When Bad Bats came out in the 80s or something, dude, what the hell? And from the people I have no intention of seeing it. They said it was terrible, terrible, terrible. So the problem is this: you don't have the blockbusters, you don't have movies people want to look forward to seeing. There's no Star Wars movies out there. It's just now the industry apparently are blaming it on the writer's strike. Oh, sure. Blame it on the writers. Blame it on the writers. The writers went on strike, if you remember, a while ago. So the industry is saying, well, because the writers were on strike, there aren't no good movies out there being produced, right? It's going to take a while to catch up, you know. Oh, we'll have a good movie for you maybe 4 years from now. But right now, shit. Anyway, so they're blaming it on the writers, which may be true. But I think Hollywood has been in a funk for a long time. Think about it. Now, last year was great. You had Barbie out. That was innovative. Oppenheimer, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture, was out. Remember that summer? And people were saying they were so different, but people were going to see both in the same day. You get the lighthearted Barbie, and then you have the really dark, deep Oppenheimer. So, and then remember the summer before, was it? Maverick, Tom Cruise was out, right? Think about it. Those movies are not around this summer. They're not. Okay. As much as they push it with all these commercials and, oh, this is the greatest movie since sliced bread. You've got to go see it. And all these things up there on the screen, you know, must see. Great movie. But you look at the thing, who's seen it, you can barely read it. And it's like some hack newspaper in a small town in Nebraska or something. Anyway, you know, the bottom line is they're just not making the movies. And this goes way before. This goes way before the writer's strike. Hollywood has become a copycat, even more so than it used to be. Originality, creativity is gone. I mean, where are the original ideas? Where are the great producers and directors coming from? Like Spielberg, like some of those guys, right? They're not. So what's going on in Hollywood? You know? Creativity has just gone down the tubes. Everything's a copy of something else. If you have a popular movie out, rest assured that like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 other movies just like it will be out very, very quickly. Because that's the way Hollywood is now. They just piggyback on everything else. Everything is a copy. And wow, this must work good. So we're gonna make another movie just like it, right? So we can get the mighty dollar, we can fleece the people, and it's mindless entertainment. They don't know what the hell they're watching anyway. So it's more than just 30 years. There's a problem in Hollywood with creativity. All the original ideas have evaporated. I mean, you know, we need people, young people who have great ideas, who are creative, who have imagination, right? And not all this superhero crap. And that's all you're seeing. And nothing against it. It's great fun. But do you really want to see the same thing 26 times in a row? And each time they do it, dilutes the product. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? So I don't know what the answer is. I just think, you know, we need some more original ideas. That's basically what it is. But I found it interesting that 30 years, this is the worst box office in 30 years. And you know what? I am glad people are wising up. Maybe it'll send a message to Hollywood that get your act together. You're in the business to entertain people. There's enough problems in the world. We want to go to the movies and be entertained. Sometimes we want to go to the movies and think and maybe cry or laugh, right? We just want an escape from reality for 2 hours. And if you can't provide that, then we're going to do something else with our time. Because the thing of it now is there's so much to do, right? I mean, you could stay home and watch TV, streaming movies. You could listen to music or go to a ball game or whatever. Go to a live concert, go to the beach, whatever you want to do. There's just so many things to do nowadays that if Hollywood, if they're not going to make good movies for people to go and see and pay their hard-earned money to see, then people just shouldn't go. And maybe that's what they're doing, is just putting their foot down and saying, I'm not going to see this crap. So that could be a positive. That could explain it. So that's it, right? Phillies. I'm not worried. As I said on this fine program yesterday, I think, I kind of foresaw that the Phillies were going to have trouble out west. Why? Because number one, they were due for some regression. You knew they couldn't keep playing as they have. Number two, they never play well when they go to Colorado and San Francisco specifically. Now, they do play decently when they go to LA to play the Dodgers. Remember, what was it, a couple of years ago? They almost swept the Dodgers out there. They do play very well when they go to San Diego. Very. But for some reason, the Phillies don't play well at Coors Field, and they really don't play well in San Francisco at Oracle Park. I mean, now they've lost 9 games in a row. They've lost 16 out of the last 18 games in San Francisco. And who knows why? So it's no surprise to me. If I was a betting man, I would have bet the San Francisco Giants to win this series. And you know what? They may sweep the series too. The Phillies have not been swept at all this year. And it wouldn't surprise me. I think the Phillies are going to step up and play a good game today. I think this is the team. I think if it was a past team, they would say, the hell with it. You know what? We're going home today. Let's go home, sleep in our own beds, and see family. We have a homestand coming up before we hit the road to go to England. Let's go home and play well. The hell with this game. That's in the past. I think this Phillies team are focused enough and have enough pride that they're going to step up and play a good game too. Now, Christopher Sanchez is pitching. I don't know. So we'll see. But, the Phillies are not hitting. They're playing really poorly in the field. Look at last night, they lose 1-0. Zach Wheeler gives up 6 great innings, 7 great innings, strikes out 9 guys, 9 Giants. It gets nothing for that. I don't know, why aren't they hitting? It's almost like they're reverting back to the playoffs next year. The bats all of a sudden went cold, And that's something you got to worry about this team. No matter how well they play this year, you have to worry about all of a sudden the bats go cold. Why? I don't know. I mean, the bats were hot. The runs are Sosa is still hitting well. It's not Trey Turner being absent. It's not that, because the team was playing well during Turner's absence. So what's going on? Why can't they hit out west? I don't know. It's perplexing, you know? But I have faith in this team. Hey, they've lost 2 games in the standings in the last 2 days. Now they need Atlanta by 5. It's still an okay cushion, you know. The games are really, when they play Atlanta head to head, that's going to be big, because that's worth 2 games, in the standings. So you want to play well against Atlanta. I tell you what, there's another West Coast trip coming up the beginning of August. They're going to go to Seattle, which is not going to be easy, because Seattle is ahead of the American League West. And Seattle is the longest trip you could make on the continent. The longest trip. And then they go down and play the Dodgers. Never easy. And then they played Arizona, which is never easy out there. So that's going to be a key trip. If the Phillies could survive that 10-game road trip, let's say they even go 5-5, 6-4. Okay, 6-4. I would take that. I would take it, because there's a possibility that they could really lose some ground in that time. Yeah, it depends on how well Atlanta's throwing too, of course. But I think that's going to be a key trip for the whole season. But I mean, my feeling is that the Phillies are still okay. They're going to come home and play St. Louis this weekend. And they're gonna Milwaukee next week. Milwaukee's a good team. St. Louis is starting to come around. They're not in last place anymore. So the Phillies just need to get back on track. Play ball like they did for the first 2 months of the season, and stay focused. And play good defense. The bats will come and go. Even the pitching will come and go. The defense is something that can stay consistent. It needs to stay consistent, because you don't want to start giving away outs. You don't want to start giving away runs, because that is going to kill you in the end, especially in playoffs. So let's see. Hopefully the Phillies, they play a quarter of 4 today, get their act together, take the last game of the road trip, have a nice flight home, start anew Friday night against the St. Louis Cardinals at home. NBA playoffs, real quick. Boston is resting up. They swept the Indiana Pacers, as we saw. Tough series, We thought Indiana would at least take a game. It did help when Halliburton got hurt. And it didn't help that Indiana threw the first game away. I mean, that was ridiculous. That should have been a sign that, hey, they're not going to do it. That had to be a crushing loss just to throw around. Last night, Minnesota Timberwolves, woo! They survived. They go back home again. If they take game 5 at home, it's now a 3-2 series, and we go back to Dallas. So let's see what happens there. Minnesota, could they be the first team in NBA history to come back from a 3-0 deficit? Could that? It's possible. They have a young team, but they have a very talented team. And Dallas is banged up. The center Lively is out. Luka, what a good player. He's bagged up. So, I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. And, it's got to happen sooner or later. We have a team overcome a 3-0 deficit. It's got to happen. Will it happen now? I don't know. It'll be interesting. All right, that's all I have. Oh, before I go, don't forget the patron saint of this five podcast. Bud. There he is. Look at Tugman. Huh? Wasn't he a cutie? Oh my God. He takes after his dad. There he is. Bud, our patron saint, our friend. Speaking of which, Coco went back to the doctor and check up. He got the old snip fixed yesterday. Microchips. All kinds of stuff going on there. And he's doing good. He's doing good. Can't wear a stupid code thing, so it doesn't fool his stitching, It's not too good like that. I hope the guy worked at the code. But every code I want is an inch pretty good. Get that on me. Anyway, so but he's doing good. He's doing good. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care, peace and love. I'll be back soon. I'm going to come back with a TV classic episode that we're going to talk about, and we're going to answer mail. So I look forward to seeing you again. Everybody have a great hump day, and we'll see you soon. Bye. 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 Thanks for watching. See you all next time. Y'all come back, yeah?